This isn't a soup kitchen, Diawara, the manager sneers, as Noémie Diawara serves Le Ciel's elite. The black waitress, drained by grueling double shifts, faces scorn but moves with quiet grace. When a shabby stranger orders the cheapest dish, her daring gift of free soup catches him off guard. He's Florent Vasseur, the billionaire owner, disguised to uncover what festers beneath his restaurant's shine. Noémie's selfless act lights a spark, hinting at a truth buried in Le Ciel's heart. What lies behind the bistro's glamorous mask? Will her kindness lead to revelation? Join this gripping story of defiance and hidden motives. What does Noémie's heart stir in you? Share below and hit subscribe to keep our tales of courage alive. Noémie Diawara weaved through the crowded dining room of Le Ciel, her tray balanced with crystal flutes of champagne. The clink of glasses and low hum of affluent chatter filled the air, the chandelier casting prisms across silk dresses and tailored suits. Her feet ached from 14 hours on the floor, her smile a practiced mask hiding exhaustion. She set the drinks at table 8, nodding as a guest waved her off without a glance. Diawara! Sylvester Beaumont's voice cut through the din, sharp as a blade. The manager, lean and impeccably dressed, stood by the bar, his pale face twisted in disdain. Table 12's been waiting 10 minutes for their Bordeaux. Move faster or you're on double shifts through Sunday. No pay. Noémie's throat tightened, but she nodded. Yes, sir. Her voice was steady, though her hands trembled as she grabbed the bottle from the sommelier. 14-hour shifts were killing her, but she couldn't lose this job. Not with Isada's medical bills piling up. As she poured the wine at table 12, a man in a velvet blazer leaned back, his voice loud enough to carry. This one's too slow. Doesn't fit a place like Le Ciel, does she? His wife, dripping in pearls, smirked. They should hire staff who match the ambiance. Sylvester, hovering nearby, didn't defend her. Instead, he stepped closer, his smile oily. Mes excuses, monsieur. Diawara's lucky to still be here with her. Pace. He raised his voice, ensuring Noémie heard. Learn your place, Diawara, or you're out. The words stung like a slap. Noémie's chest burned, but she kept her eyes down, murmuring, I'll do better, sir. The guests chuckled, and she forced her hands to stay steady as she cleared their appetizers. She wouldn't cry. Not here. At the bar, a new customer sat alone, his worn jacket and scuffed boots stark against the polished counter. He looked out of place, his face shadowed, hands fidgeting with a crumpled menu. Just water and bread, he said softly when Noémie approached. Sylvester, catching the order, sneered from the pass. This isn't a charity, Diawara. Get that riffraff out before he scares the real customers. Noémie glanced at the man, his eyes tired but kind, like her own after long nights with Isada. She made a snap decision. The kitchen made extra pumpkin soup, she said, her voice low. It's on the house. I'll bring it out. The man blinked, startled. You don't have to. It's no trouble. She smiled, genuine this time, and turned before he could protest. Léonie Sorel, her friend and fellow server, caught her arm near the kitchen. Noémie, Sylvester's watching. He'll dock your pay for that soup. Léonie's pale face was tight with worry, her blonde hair slipping from its bun after her own double shift. Let him, Noémie said, though her stomach twisted. No one goes hungry if I can help it. You're too good for this place, Leonie muttered, glancing at Sylvester, who was now berating a busboy. He's got it out for you. Those double shifts, he's not even logging them right. I heard him tell the accountant, you only did 8 hours yesterday. Noémie's jaw clenched. I can't fight him, Leonie. Isata needs me to keep this job. She pushed into the kitchen, grabbing a bowl of steaming soup. The chef, oblivious, shouted orders over the sizzle of pans. Back at the bar, she set the soup before the stranger. Here, it's warm. Take your time. He looked at her, his expression unreadable. Why do this? You don't know me. She shrugged, wiping her hands on her apron. Doesn't matter who you are. You're here, so you matter. Sylvester's shadow loomed as he approached. Diawara, you're wasting time on a nobody. Table 15 needs you, now. His eyes flicked to the stranger, narrowing. And you? Eat fast and get out. The man nodded silently, but his gaze lingered on Noémie as she hurried away. She felt it, a quiet intensity, but dismissed it as she served Table 15's desserts. The night dragged on, her body screaming for rest. Sylvester's voice hounded her, each order laced with contempt. Leonie pulled her aside near the end of the shift. You're killing yourself, Noémie. Those double shifts, the way he talks to you, it's not right. I know, Noémie said, her voice barely a whisper. But Isata's machine is breaking down. I need every euro. Leonie's eyes softened. You're stronger than anyone here, but you can't let him walk over you forever. Noémie forced a smile. I'll manage. Always do. As the last guests left, Noémie cleared the bar. The stranger was gone, leaving a single coin on the counter. Worthless, almost a joke. She pocketed it anyway, her mind already on Isata. Sylvester called from the office. Diawara, you're closing tomorrow. Double shift. Don't be late. She nodded, exhaustion settling into her bones. In the staff room, she slipped off her apron, her fingers brushing the small notebook hidden in her locker. She didn't open it. Not here. But its weight grounded her, a silent promise to Isata. Outside, the night air was cold. Noémie pulled her coat tight, her breath visible under the streetlights. She didn't see the stranger watching from across the street, his phone glowing as he typed a note. His face, still shadowed, held a flicker of something. Anger, maybe, or resolve. In her apartment, Noémie checked Isata's breathing machine, its hum steady, but weaker each day. She sank onto the couch, too tired to eat. Her mother's words echoed in her mind. Kindness is your fire, Noémie. Don't let the world put it out. She clung to that, even as Sylvester's insults replayed. The notebook waited in her bag, its pages filled with truths she wasn't ready to face. Not yet. But tonight, she'd done one good thing. That was enough. Florent Vasseur slammed his laptop shut, the glow of the screen fading in his dimly lit office. The email's words burned in his mind. Your manager's robbing your staff blind. Check the double shifts. Attached were photos of payroll logs, stark evidence of hours slashed. 14 reduced to 8. His pulse quickened as he leaned back in his leather chair, the silence of the room pressing against him. He opened the email again, scrolling to the grainy images. Names stood out. Noémie Diawara, Léonie Sorel. Others he vaguely recalled from staff files. Noémie's face flashed in his memory, her quiet defiance last night at Le Ciel, slipping him soup despite Sylvester Beaumont's venom. She'd been humiliated, yet her kindness held firm. Florent's jaw tightened. He'd built an empire on his father's dream, a restaurant where people mattered. Had he let it rot? Enough, he muttered, standing. He crossed to a wooden cabinet, its surface worn from years of his father's touch. Inside hung a faded work jacket, stained with grease from the old man's days as a chef. Florent traced the fabric, hearing his father's voice. A restaurant's heart is its people, Florent. Guard it fiercely. He'd failed that lesson, lost in expansion deals and boardroom battles. He pulled the jacket free, its weight heavy with memory. Last night, Noémie's act had stirred something. Guilt, maybe, or a need to act. The email wasn't random. Someone knew the truth and trusted him to fix it. Sylvester, with his polished suits and sharp tongue, was the rot. Florent needed proof. Unfiltered, raw. No audits or HR visits. Sylvester would charm his way out. Florent had to see it himself. He dialed Bastien Quilliot, his IT chief, the line crackling to life. Bastien, I need security footage from Ciel. 12 weeks, all shifts, Sylvester managed. Payroll data, too. Keep it quiet. Bastien's voice hesitated. That's a lot, sir. Sylvester's careful. You sure about this? Dead sure, Florent snapped. By tomorrow noon. No one knows. He hung up, his decision crystallizing. He'd returned to Ciel, not as the owner in a tailored suit, but as the nobody in his father's jacket. Sylvester wouldn't recognize him. Neither would the staff. He'd watch, listen, catch the manager in the act. Florent slipped on the jacket, its sleeves tight against his frame. In the mirror, he looked like a laborer, not a magnate. Perfect. He remembered Noémie's words. You're here, so you matter. She'd treated a stranger with dignity, while Sylvester spat on her. If the email was right, she was losing hours, money, to Sylvester's greed. Florent's hands clenched. He'd make this right. He grabbed his phone, texting his assistant. Cancel my meetings tomorrow. Urgent matter. The reply buzzed instantly. The board needs your quarterly numbers. But he ignored it. Numbers could wait. People couldn't. At his desk, he pulled up Ciel's schedules. Sylvester worked Thursday through Sunday, the busiest nights. Tomorrow, Friday, would be chaos. Perfect for exposing cracks. Florent studied the payroll logs from the email. Noémie's name appeared repeatedly, her hours gutted. One entry. March 12th, logged 8 hours, actual 14. Another, March 15th, logged 7, actual 13. The pattern screamed theft. He called Ambroise Lefebvre, his lawyer, arranging a discreet meeting. They met at a smoky bistro, far from Ciel's glittering world. Ambroise, silver-haired and sharp-eyed, sipped cognac as Florent slid the email printouts across the table. This is wage theft, Ambroise said, scanning the logs. Felony level, if you can prove it. Footage, payroll records, maybe witness statements. Handle it internally first. Fire him, recover funds, then decide on charges. I want him gone, Florent said, his voice low. And I want my people made whole. Ambroise nodded. Get hard evidence. Your word won't be enough. Florent left the bistro, the night air sharp against his face. He drove home, the jacket slung over the passenger seat. In his apartment, he stood before a photo of his father outside their first restaurant, grinning in that same jacket. You'd be ashamed of me, Florent thought. He'd let Sylvester, a man he'd hired for his efficiency, prey on his staff. He poured a whiskey, the glass cold in his hand. Noémie's face kept surfacing, her steady gaze, her refusal to break under Sylvester's cruelty. She reminded him of his father, who'd once given a week's leftovers to a struggling family, no questions asked. Florent had forgotten that legacy. No more. He opened his phone, pulling up a blank note. 3 words. Go undercover, Friday. He'd sit at that bar again, order the cheapest item, watch Sylvester's every move. If the manager was stealing hours, Florent would see it. How he spoke to Noémie, how he logged shifts, how he controlled the floor. Sylvester's done, he said aloud, draining the whiskey. He set the glass down, the sound sharp in the quiet. Tomorrow, he'd shed his suits, his Rolex, his identity. He'd be invisible, just another face in the crowd. His father's voice echoed again. You learn the truth when they think you're nobody. Florent walked to his closet, pulling out scuffed boots to complete the disguise. He wouldn't just fire Sylvester. He'd dismantle the system that let this happen. Noémie, Léonie, the others. They deserved better. And Aissata, the child Noémie fought for, deserved a mother who wasn't crushed by greed. He sat on the edge of his bed, the jacket draped across his lap. The email's sender remained a mystery, but their trust in him was a weight he couldn't ignore. He'd honor it, not with promises, but with action. Friday would be the start. In the dark, Florent closed his eyes, Noémie's soup still warm in his memory. He'd failed his father's dream once. He wouldn't again. Noémie Diawara slipped into her apartment, the door creaking shut behind her. The clock read 2:17 a.m., its red digits harsh against the dark. Her legs burned from 14 hours on her feet, but she moved silently, careful not to wake Aissata. The hum of her daughter's breathing machine filled the small living room, a lifeline that flickered with every weak pulse. Noémie knelt beside the couch, checking the device's gauge. Low again. She'd need a new one soon, or Aissata's lungs would falter. She pulled her coat off, wincing as her shoulder protested. Sylvester's voice echoed from the night, his sneer, the guest's cruel words. Doesn't fit a place like Le Ciel. Her throat tightened, but she swallowed it down. No time for self-pity. She grabbed her bag, fishing out the notebook hidden in a side pocket. Its edges were frayed, the cover marked with Aissata, Tuong Lai, in her careful script. Sitting at the kitchen table, she opened it under the dim light of a single bulb. Pages of neat entries stared back, each a record of stolen hours. Thursday, March 18th, 14 hours worked, logged as 8, lost 62 euros. 12 weeks, 70 entries, a catalog of Sylvester's theft. She added tonight's 14 hours, logged 8, lost 60 euros. Her pen shook, not from fatigue, but from the weight of it all. Every euro was a piece of Aissata's future. Noémie's phone buzzed, Léonie's name lighting the screen. A text. You okay after Sylvester's stunt tonight? That guest was vile. Noémie typed back, fingers slow. I'm fine, just tired. Need to keep going for Aissata. Léonie's reply came fast. He's stealing from you, Noémie. Those double shifts. He's not paying you right. Tell someone. Noémie stared at the words. Tell who? Sylvester ran Le Ciel like a king, charming the accountants, twisting every complaint into her fault. If she spoke up, he'd fire her. Aissata needed that machine, the meds, the doctor visits. Losing this job wasn't an option. She typed, I can't risk it. Not yet. She set the phone down, her mother's voice rising in her mind. Kindness is your fire, Noémie. It burns brighter than their cruelty. She'd clung to that tonight, giving soup to the stranger despite Sylvester's threats. His face lingered, tired eyes, a quiet gratitude. She wondered who he was, then pushed the thought away. Didn't matter. He'd needed help, so she'd given it. Standing, she crossed to Aisata's corner. Her daughter slept, dark curls framing a face too pale. Noémie adjusted the blanket, her fingers brushing the girl's cheek. "We'll get through this," she whispered. "I promise." The notebook lay open on the table, its truth a silent scream. She'd started it on a whim, a way to track the hours Sylvester shaved off. Now it was her armor, proof she wasn't imagining the theft. But proof for who? No one had ever challenged Sylvester. The other servers, Léonie included, grumbled, but fear kept them quiet. Noémie didn't blame them. She was scared too. She sank onto the couch, too exhausted to eat. Her mother's words returned, softer now. Fire doesn't need permission to burn. Maybe one day she'd show the notebook to someone who'd listen. Until then, she'd keep writing, keep working, keep fighting. Her phone buzzed again. "Léonie, you're stronger than he is. Don't forget that." Noémie smiled faintly, the words a small warmth. She didn't feel strong, not with Sylvester's insults ringing, not with the machine's hum faltering. But she'd fake it for Aisata. She closed the notebook, sliding it into the wooden box beside her mother's old scarf. The scarf smelled of lavender, a ghost of home. Noémie held it to her face, breathing deep. She'd been 19 when her mother died, leaving her to raise Aisata alone. Every choice since had been for her daughter, every double shift, every swallowed insult. The stranger's coin from tonight sat on the table, dull and worthless. She picked it up, turning it over. It wasn't payment, but it was something. A reminder that her kindness had reached someone. That was enough to keep going. Noémie stood, stretching her aching back. Tomorrow was another double shift, another battle with Sylvester. She'd face it like always, head high, smile on, notebook ready. For Aisata, she'd endure anything. Florent Vasseur hunched over the bar at Le Ciel, his father's worn jacket scratching his shoulders. The Friday night chaos swirled around him, clinking glasses, laughter from silk-clad guests, servers darting through the crowd. He sipped his water, eyes tracking Sylvester Beaumont across the room. The manager, crisp in his black suit, barked orders at a busboy, his voice cutting through the din like a whip. Florent kept his head low, blending into the shadows of the counter. No one recognized him, not even Noémie Diawara, who rushed past with a tray of desserts. Her face was taut, the same exhaustion he'd seen last night when she'd slipped him soup. He leaned forward, catching her quiet exchange with Léonie Sorel near the kitchen pass. "How long are you on tonight?" Léonie asked, wiping sweat from her brow. 14 hours, Noémie muttered, glancing at Sylvester. "He'll log it as 8. Again, Florent's grip tightened on his glass. Exactly what the anonymous email had claimed. He needed more. Hard proof Sylvester was stealing hours. He waved Noémie over, his voice rough. "Hey, how many hours are you pulling today?" She hesitated, eyes flicking to Sylvester, then back. 14. But don't mention it, please. Her plea was soft, urgent. "Got it," Florent said, nodding. Her fear confirmed the email's truth. He watched her hurry off, Sylvester's glare following her like a hawk. Back at his apartment that night, Florent's phone buzzed with Bastien Kilio's message. Footage and payroll data ready. Check your secure drive. Florent opened his laptop, the screen casting a cold glow. He clicked the first video, time-stamped midnight, March 10th. Sylvester sat alone in Ciel's office, the payroll tablet in hand. His fingers moved fast, editing Noémie's hours from 14 to 8, Léonie's from 12 to 7. He saved the changes, then transferred €1,200 to a personal account labeled consulting fees. Florent's stomach churned. He fast-forwarded to another clip, March 15th. Same routine. Sylvester, alone, shaving hours, pocketing cash. 12 weeks, 60 instances, €32,000 stolen from his staff. Noémie's name appeared most often, her hours gutted by half. Florent slammed the laptop shut, his breath ragged. This wasn't just theft. It was betrayal. He dialed Bastien. You saw this? His voice was tight. Yeah, Bastien said, grim. He's been at it since you promoted him. Cleaned it up so accounting wouldn't notice. Send me the bank records, Florent said. Every transfer. Already in the drive, Bastien replied. What's your move? Florent didn't answer, hanging up. He opened the bank files, cross-referencing dates. March 10th, €1,200 to Sylvester's account. March 15th, €1,100. The numbers matched the stolen hours exactly. Ironclad. He needed perspective. He drove to a dimly lit bistro, meeting Ambroise Lefebvre at a corner table. The lawyer's silver hair caught the lamplight as he scanned the payroll logs Florent slid over. This is felony wage theft, Ambroise said, his voice low. You've got footage, bank records, enough for prison. But fire him first, recover what you can, then decide on charges. I want him out by Monday, Florent said, his tone hard, and my people paid back. Ambroise nodded, sipping his wine. Get a witness if you can, someone who'll talk. It'll seal the case. Florent left, the night air biting his face. Back home, he rewatched the footage, pausing on Noémie's name. She'd lost €14,000, money for her daughter, the girl she'd mentioned to Léonie. He remembered her words. You're here, so you matter. She'd given him soup while Sylvester bled her dry. His father's voice echoed, Guard your people, Florent. He hadn't, but he would now. He opened his phone, adding to his undercover note, Saturday, push harder. Test Sylvester. He'd return to Ciel, provoke the manager, and see how far the cruelty went. Noémie's fear, Léonie's exhaustion, they weren't just victims. They were his responsibility. He'd failed them, but Monday would change that. Florent stood, pacing his apartment. The payroll logs lay open, a map of Sylvester's greed. He wouldn't just fire him. He'd rebuild Ciel, make it what his father intended, a place where people like Noémie weren't crushed. He stopped at the photo of his father, the old man's grin fierce in the faded frame. I'll fix this, he said aloud. The words a vow. Noémie Diawara's hands shook as she scrubbed a spilled wine stain from the Ciel tablecloth, the crimson smear stubborn under her rag. Saturday night's crowd roared around her. Guests in glittering gowns, their laughter sharp as glass. Her eyes burned from 16 hours on her feet, Sylvester Beaumont's latest double shift grinding her down. She straightened, catching her breath, when a crash echoed from the bar. A man in a tattered jacket, the same stranger from Thursday, stood frozen, a shattered glass at his feet. Water pooled across the polished floor. Sylvester stormed over, His pale face twisted. "You clumsy fool," he barked. "Diawara, clean this up, now." Noémie rushed forward, rag in hand. "It's okay," she told the stranger, her voice soft. "Accidents happen." His eyes, shadowed but intense, met hers. A flicker of something she couldn't place. Sylvester loomed closer. "Stop coddling him, Diawara. He doesn't belong here." He turned to the man. "Get out before I call security." The stranger nodded, mumbling, "Sorry," and stepped back. Noémie knelt, wiping the shards, her heart racing. Sylvester's sneer shifted to her. "You're too soft. That's why you're stuck on double shifts. No spine." She bit her lip, the words stinging worse than Thursday's humiliation. "I'm doing my job," she said, voice low. "Your job?" Sylvester laughed, loud enough for nearby guests to glance over. "You're barely competent. Be grateful I keep you." He leaned in, his breath hot. "You're closing tomorrow. 16 hours, no pay. Maybe you'll learn." Noémie's chest tightened, but she nodded, eyes on the floor. Aisata's face flashed in her mind. Her daughter's fragile breaths, the failing machine. She couldn't lose this job, no matter how Sylvester crushed her. She finished cleaning, the stranger already gone, his absence leaving a strange weight. Léonie Sorel caught her near the kitchen. "He's a monster," she whispered, her face pale. "You can't keep taking this, Noémie. 16 hours tomorrow? It's slavery." "I don't have a choice," Noémie said, her voice cracking. "Aisata's machine. It's breaking. I need the money." Léonie grabbed her hand. "He's not logging your hours right. I saw him fiddle with the tablet last night. You're getting nothing for these shifts." Noémie's stomach dropped. She'd suspected it, written it in her notebook, but hearing it from Léonie made it real. "What can I do?" she asked, barely audible. "If I fight him, I'm out." Léonie's eyes blazed. "Someone has to know. Someone has to care." Noémie shook her head, pulling away. "Not now. I can't risk it." She moved to table 10, forcing a smile as she served dessert. Sylvester's voice haunted her, his threats looping in her head. The night blurred. Plates, orders, fake smiles, until her shift ended at 3 a.m. In the staff room, she sank onto a bench, her body screaming. Léonie hovered, offering water. "You're not okay," she said. "Talk to me." Noémie's fingers brushed her locker, where the notebook hid. "I'm keeping track," she admitted, voice barely a whisper. "Every hour he steals. I don't know if it'll help, but it's something." Léonie's jaw dropped. "You're documenting it? Noémie, that's dangerous," Noémie cut in. "If he finds out, I'm done." She stood, pulling her apron off. "But I can't let him win forever." Léonie hugged her, fierce and quick. "You're braver than he'll ever be." Noémie managed a tired smile. "I don't feel brave." She grabbed her bag, the notebook's weight grounding her. Outside, the night was cold, the street lights casting long shadows. She didn't see the stranger, Florent Vasseur, watching from a parked car, his phone open to a video of Sylvester's outburst. Inside the car, Florent's hands clenched the wheel, his blood boiling. He'd provoked the spill, testing Sylvester, and the manager had shown his true colors: cruel, petty, ruthless. Noémie's quiet strength, her kindness despite the abuse, hit harder than the footage. She'd lost €60 tonight, maybe more, to Sylvester's greed. Isada's name, overheard in her talk with Leonie, burned in his mind. A child, sick, depending on a mother, Sylvester was breaking. He dialed Ambroise Lefebvre. "It's worse than we thought," he said, voice tight. "Sylvester's not just stealing. He's destroying them. Noémie's working 16-hour shifts for nothing." Ambroise's tone was grim. "You've got the footage. Bank records. If she's got proof too, he's finished. Monday. End it." "Monday," Florent agreed, hanging up. He started the car, the engine's hum steadying him. Sylvester would fall, but Noémie, she deserved more than justice. She deserved a future. He'd make sure of it. Noémie Diawara stood rigid in Ciel's conference room, her apron still tied from a rushed morning shift. Monday's air was thick with tension, the long table surrounded by Léonie Sorel, 3 other servers, a cook, and Sylvester Beaumont. Sylvester leaned back in his chair, his pale face smug, arms crossed like he owned the room. Noémie's stomach churned. She'd been called in on her day off. No explanation. Just a curt order from Sylvester. Léonie caught her eye, whispering, "Something's up. He's too cocky." The door swung open, and a man in a tailored suit stepped in, his presence silencing the room. Noémie's breath caught. The stranger from Thursday, from Saturday, the one she'd given soup, whose glass she'd cleaned, stood tall, his face no longer shadowed. "I'm Florent Vasseur," he said, voice steady. "I own Le Ciel." Gasps rippled through the staff. Noémie's knees weakened, her mind reeling. The man she'd pitied was the owner. Sylvester's smirk faltered, his eyes narrowing. "What's this about?" he demanded, leaning forward. Florent ignored him, his gaze locking on Noémie. "Thursday, I sat at your bar, wearing a €10 jacket. I ordered water and bread. You gave me soup, Noémie, even when Sylvester threatened your pay." His voice softened. "Saturday, I broke a glass. You cleaned it, told me it was fine, while he berated you." Noémie's cheeks burned, her hands clasping to hide their tremble. I didn't know," she stammered. "You don't need to," Florent said, firm but kind. He turned to Sylvester, his tone icing over. "You called it a slow night on Thursday. Said payroll was tight. Explain this." He clicked a remote, and a screen lit up with security footage. Sylvester, alone in the office. Midnight, March 18th. His fingers danced over the payroll tablet, slashing Noémie's hours from 14 to 8, Léonie's from 12 to 7. A bank transfer followed, €200 to his personal account. The room froze. Léonie's hand flew to her mouth. Sylvester's face drained of color. "That's edited," he sputtered. "A mistake." Florent advanced, his voice lethal. 60 instances, 12 weeks, €32,000 stolen. Noémie lost 14,000. Léonie, 9,000. Every server here bled dry. He pulled up bank records, transfers matching the stolen hours. Your mistake funded your account. The cook, a burly man named Theo, slammed his fist on the table. "You bastard!" Léonie's eyes welled, her voice breaking. "We trusted you." Sylvester stood, chair scraping. "You can't prove intent. I'll fight this." "Sit down," Florent snapped. He turned to Noémie, his expression softening. "Noémie, anything to share?" Her heart pounded. She hadn't planned this, hadn't dared dream someone would listen. But Florent's eyes held no judgment, only expectation. She stepped to her locker in the hall, the glass wall showing every move. Her fingers found the notebook, its worn cover heavy with 12 weeks of truth. She returned, placing it on the table. The words, Aisata, Tuong Lai, stark under the lights. I wrote it all, she said, voice shaking but clear. Every double shift, every hour you stole. She opened it, pages spilling with neat entries. March 18th, 14 hours, logged as 8. Lost 60 euros. March 20th, 16 hours, logged as 7. Lost 90 euros. 70 shifts, 14,000 euros gone. The room was silent. Every eye on her. Léonie sobbed quietly. Florent picked up the notebook, scanning it. It matches the footage. Perfectly. He faced Sylvester. You're fired. Effective now. Security's outside. Sylvester's mouth opened, then closed, his face red. You'll regret this, he hissed, but his voice cracked. 2 guards entered, gripping his arms. He struggled, spitting curses until the door slammed shut behind him. The silence that followed was deafening. Florent stood at the table's head, his voice low. This is my fault. I got lost in expansion, forgot what my father built this place for. People. That ends today. He met each worker's gaze. Noémie, you didn't just survive Sylvester. You fought him with this. He held up her notebook. That's courage. Noémie's throat closed, tears brimming. She'd never been called courageous. She'd only done what she had to, for Aisata. Florent's words felt like air after drowning. He continued, addressing the room. You'll be paid back, every euro, with interest. And Le Ciel changes now. No more stolen hours. No more silence. He set the notebook down, its weight a shared victory. Noémie Diawara clutched the envelope. Florent Vasseur slid across the conference table, her fingers trembling against the crisp paper. The Le Ciel meeting room was silent, the air still charged from Sylvester Beaumont's exit. Léonie Sorel sat beside her, eyes red, while Theo, the QOK, and the other servers watched, their breaths held. Florent stood at the table's head, his tailored suit a stark contrast to the tattered jacket Noémie remembered from Thursday. Open it, Florent said, his voice gentle but firm. Noémie tore the envelope, revealing a check. Her heart stopped. 16,800 euros. The number blurred as tears welled. This is real? She whispered, her voice cracking. With interest, Florent said. Every euro Sylvester stole from you, plus 18% for the time you went without. He turned to Léonie, handing her an envelope. 10,800 euros. Léonie's hands shook, a sob escaping as she saw her check. Theo got 7,500, the others smaller sums, each name called with quiet respect. Noémie's mind raced. Aisata's new breathing machine, possible now. Doctor visits, meds, a cushion against the next emergency. She pressed the check to her chest, the weight of years lifting. Léonie grabbed her hand, squeezing hard. You did this, she whispered. Your notebook. Florent cleared his throat, drawing eyes back to him. There's more. He looked at Noémie, his gaze steady. I'm offering you the role of operations manager. Immediate start. 40% salary increase, full benefits, including coverage for Aisata's medical needs. No co-pays, no limits. The room gasped. Noémie's breath caught, her head shaking. Me? I'm just a server. You're not just anything, Florent said, his voice sharp with conviction. You documented Sylvester's theft for 12 weeks. You gave a stranger soup when it cost you. You protected your team, even when he broke you. That's leadership. Noémie's eyes burned, her mother's words echoing. Kindness is your fire. She'd fought for Aissata, for herself, but leadership. I don't know how, she admitted, voice small. You already do, Florent said. You know what's right. You know your people. That's enough. He slid a contract across the table. Take your time, but I need you. Ciel needs you. Léonie nudged her, grinning through tears. Say yes, Noémie. You're made for this. Noémie's fingers brushed the contract, the paper cool and real. She nodded, barely audible. Okay, I'll try. The room erupted in applause. Theo whistled, his grin wide. Léonie hugged her, laughing. Florent's smile was small but genuine. Welcome aboard, he said, shaking her hand. He turned to the group, his tone shifting. Ciel changes today. First, no more forced double shifts. Hours are logged automatically via biometric clocks, effective next week. You'll see every minute you work. Murmurs of relief rippled through the staff. Second, he continued, an anonymous hotline. Report any issue, pay, treatment, anything, directly to me. No manager can touch it. He held up a poster with a QR code. It's in the break room by tonight. Theo raised a hand. What if someone retaliates? They're fired, Florent said flatly. Zero tolerance. It's in your new handbooks. He passed out printed copies, the pages detailing protections. Third, you'll elect a staff representative for monthly management meetings. Your voice matters. Léonie spoke up, her voice shaky. The money. Can we really keep it? Every cent, Florent said. Sylvester's accounts are frozen. My lawyers are recovering more. If he fights, he's facing charges. He paused, meeting their eyes. I failed you, letting him run unchecked. My father built Ciel for people, not profit. I lost that. You're getting it back. Noémie's tears spilled over, not from pain, but relief. She'd faced Sylvester's cruelty, written her truth, and now stood on the other side. Aissata would breathe easier, and she'd help rebuild Ciel. She clutched the check, the contract, her notebook's weight gone. Florent stepped back, gesturing to the door. Take the day. Rest. We start fresh tomorrow. The staff filed out, voices buzzing with hope. Léonie lingered, arm around Noémie. You're a hero, she said. Noémie shook her head. I just did what I had to. That's what heroes do, Léonie replied, pulling her toward the exit. Outside, Noémie stood under the midday sun, the check a promise in her pocket. She'd call the medical supplier today, secure Aissata's machine. For the first time in years, she felt light. Noémie Diawara stood at Ciel's kitchen pass, her Navy manager's blazer crisp against her frame. The restaurant hummed with evening energy, guests savoring truffle risotto, servers weaving through tables, the clink of glasses a steady rhythm. 3 months had passed since Sylvester Beaumont's fall, and Noémie's new role as operations manager felt less like a dream each day. She scanned the floor, nodding as Léonie Sorel delivered wine with a grin. Table 6 needs extra napkins, Noémie told a new server, her voice calm but firm. And smile. They're celebrating tonight. The server, a young woman named Clara, nodded eagerly and darted off. Noémie's chest warmed. She was teaching them what she'd learned. Every guest mattered, no exceptions. A child's laugh caught her ear. Aisata sat in a corner booth, sketching with crayons, her new breathing machine humming steadily beside her. The device, bought with the restitution check, had transformed their lives. No more nightly panic, no more scraping for meds. Noémie caught her daughter's eye, and Aisata waved, her smile bright. Noémie waved back, gratitude a quiet ache in her bones. Leonie sidled up, her apron smudged from a busy shift. "You're a natural, boss," she teased, nudging Noémie. "Clara's already better than I was at her age." "Only because you trained her," Noémie said, smirking. Leonie, now lead server, had stepped up, her warmth anchoring the team. Their friendship, forged in Sylvester's shadow, felt stronger than ever. A man in a worn coat entered, his boots scuffed, his face lined with fatigue. The hostess started toward a back table, but Noémie intercepted. "Table 8's free," she said, gesturing to a spot by the window. "Better view." The man blinked, surprised, then murmured, "Thank you." Leonie raised an eyebrow. "Still saving the world, one table at a time?" Noémie shrugged. "It's not saving, it's right." Her mother's words echoed, "Kindness is your fire." She lived them now, not just for Aisata, but for everyone who walked through Le Ciel's doors. Florent Vasseur appeared at the bar, his suit casual, no tie. He was on one of his unannounced walkthroughs, a promise kept since Sylvester's firing. He caught Noémie's eye, nodding toward the kitchen. "Got a minute?" She followed, leaving Leonie to handle the floor. In the bustling kitchen, Florent shook hands with Théo, the cook, who was flipping scallops with a grin. "Place feels alive," Florent said, turning to Noémie. "You're doing. The team's doing," she corrected, her voice steady. "They trust us now." Florent pulled a tablet from his bag, opening the staff portal. "Last week's hours," he said, showing her. "Noémie, 40 hours. Logged exactly. Leonie, 38. Clara, 20. No discrepancies." The biometric clocks, installed weeks ago, ensured every minute was tracked. The hotline's quiet too. 2 reports, minor scheduling gripes fixed same day. Noémie nodded, pride swelling. The changes, clocks, hotline, elected staff reps, had rebuilt Le Ciel. She joined the first management meeting, her voice shaky but heard. Now, she spoke for the team with ease. "You've made this place what my father wanted," Florent said, his tone soft. "A family, not a machine." Noémie met his gaze. "It's what my mother wanted too. People over profit." She paused, glancing at Aisata's booth. "You gave me the chance to make it real." Florent's smile was brief, genuine. "You gave me back my father's dream." He stepped toward the dining room, then turned. "Keep them honest, Noémie." "Always," she said, her voice a vow. Later, as the shift wound down, Noémie gathered the staff in the break room. "New rule," she said, holding up a training guide. "Every guest gets our best. No exceptions. Rich, poor, dressed up or down. That's Le Ciel now." Clara raised a hand. "What if they're rude?" "You stay kind," Noémie said. "Your heart's your choice, not theirs." The team nodded, their faces lit with purpose. Outside, Noémie walked Aisata to their car, the night air cool. "Good day, Mama?" Aisata asked, clutching her sketchbook. "The best," Noémie said, kissing her forehead. She looked back at Le Ciel, its windows glowing. Sylvester was gone, his crimes answered with probation and restitution. But the real victory was here. Her team, her daughter, a place rebuilt on truth. Noémie drove home, Aissata humming beside her. The notebook, once her weapon, sat in a drawer now, its pages a reminder. She'd fought, and she'd won. Thank you for joining Noémie and Florent's journey at Le Ciel, a story of courage and justice. We hope it inspires you to stand against unfairness and share kindness. What did this tale spark in you? Share your thoughts. We'd love to hear them. Stay tuned for more stories that ignite the heart. Until next time, keep fighting for what's right.